Yo, we back.
Yeah, we are black all here, and we now full clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. We back.
So when you're ready, you can.
Yeah, we up.
Right.
Nice. So yeah, I don't go back and play the video now.
Yeah.
Because it was
We gotta do by everything.
Oh gosh, boy, Murphy's a mother lover, boy. Murphy, with the video, boy. History. Nah, not this one. This one here. Yeah, boy. Alright, so we have a little video here. Take it in.
Pick up that 5 cents and put it in the
I want
bag.
to repeat that again. You only used to be paid to play mass.
And he cannot cross the water.
I go in again.
To cross the water,
I
you drain.
remember as a child when we used to be paid to play mass. I would explain what I mean by paid. When the Indian come and he come and he put his spear in your mother's neck and he say, "Katuame." We had it on a spear. But what we was paying for in that post was the execution of the character with the dialect that is being shared. But we had it on a spear. So when you say the devil come and you see the devil come and you're running with your mother too. But what we was using a spear. But we didn't understand that what he come to do is offer the service of a dialect, which is a character that using it. So that's why the statement come pay the devil. But we wasn't paying the devil for no fair. We were paying the devil for the execution of the dialect he used to use and serenading with. So I'm telling you what, when we was play to mass, when we done perform for audience, so we had corners that we used to serenade people. People used to come and put money in the gloves or put it in your chest piece, which is the contribution. But it was paying for what was being seen or what was being shared. So we had it on a spear. Because I tell him when the Indian come and he put his spear in your mother's neck and he say, "Katuame." You as a child who holding your mother hand, watch you. Because it was fair. Yeah. We didn't understand it. Not until I started to teach it in the international community, I recognized the way it was being paid. It wasn't just giving you something.
Shit.
Because my contribution with the back and the dance of the character was an execution of talent. So the money that was coming in my chest piece or my glove is for the appreciation. So that was a pay.
So that one not gonna ask you, can you equate that to them people getting all that money talking a movie?
Yes, that's that, because I'm a performing artist.
Ah, sure.
So I'm being paid for the execution of the moment I'm sharing with you. Take out that 5 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I will say it again, and I'm gonna see if I can phrase it the same way, right? This conversation came about at the Obatala Festival in January this year, which is literally a couple weeks before Carnival.
Right.
When I was talking to Baba Avery, I'm on of Africa House. And he was just getting me a little bit of the history of Carnival and some of his favorite memories of Carnival and things. And he was speaking about Matthew, the guy who was just speaking here, about Matthew's father and his portrayal of the devil bat, right? And bam, Matthew up here. Matthew just come back in the country from performing in England and come and start to talk to you. So I know we got a little, it was hard not to take out the phone and tape. We got a little 2 minutes at him, right? About what it was and how personal the mass was too. In front of your door. Yeah, so
and
we have you here today for that.
And remember at that point too, it's to the point of men building their own costume.
Right.
So it's a level of preparation because you ain't building today for tomorrow now. So sometimes you're getting licks too as a masquerader from your family, you know, because they're watching your sideways, you know, food at the buy and thing at the buy. And you're looking to buy material and furry thing to play. You understand? So,
Yeah.
But one of the things with the bat is one of the most foundational members of the thing, you know, because bat would have come out of the devil band, right? And it is said one of the earliest devil bands they had, which was you're talking Chinese Patrick and thing.
Right.
And in Chinese Patrick band, it would have a bat. But eventually bat gets so big, they come and they get separate now. So you find it had bat bands. And in the later half you start to see individual bats too. Right? So and our next thing plenty people know that the inspiration, the design inspiration, the foundational design inspiration of Peter Minshall mass is the bat.
Okay.
And
True.
me guessing that he himself say so. Right? He say that it's the form of the bat. And when you look at Peter Minshall, some of Peter Minshall's biggest mass,
Right.
the hummingbird, the first thing the hummingbird he do for his sister, his little sister, his stepsister also, right? The hummingbird. That was based on the bat. When you look at Papillon, the butterfly, all them different things, when you look at it, so he studied the structure and the motion and the movement, and it kind of inspired him. Right? So the bat is a serious mass. One of the things, because we're talking about moving forward, right?
Right.
One of the things we have to understand is, right, we the same mass, but them things is ritualistic totems now. Right? And we have to understand that, because remember, the life is made up of certain things, right? And in the Western canon, we just separate thing, right?
Right.
Right? We just feel that a divine being can be there when we making love, and you understand? It's all them kind of, we have a way we just so science must vex with mysticism and all them things. So we do ever look at that thing in the fullness.
Right.
Right? That is why when the commissioners say we have to pray, people watch she and bend too. I bend myself, but she write in a technical way, right?
You know,
but,
hear from she.
But yeah, and she don't know why she write.
Yeah.
It's why I bend, right?
Right.
But the thing is, we can't separate the living, the kind of living, and we recognize that, because we don't check for we ancestors as some kind of distant thing. We dealing with an ever present energy.
Right.
And so if we had to accept that it have an ever-present energy, and we venerating the things that they do and trying to recreate it, we have to understand that in this physical space, we have to cater for that too. Right? So when you see mass playing, and people will say, well, how are you talking about divine and carnival is this and immorality? In African cosmology, we don't deal with that. We don't deal with immorality and them kind of thing, right? At least in the classic sense, how when you see somebody whining where you feel it is and you're vulgar and them kind of thing, we are dealing with that as a singular thing. So we have to understand we self 100%. And we have to understand that when you're seeing devil mass, when you're seeing bat mass, when you're seeing plenty of the traditional things that is grounded in a kind of ritual performance that had a specific reason. Right? And the reason wasn't just rebellion and revolution, that was part of it, but was also a kind of survival.
Right.
Right? A kind of survival that had to deal with how we send ourselves through time. Right?
Yeah.
How we send ourselves through time.
Yeah.
So in as much as when I dealing with my ancestors, I could call out my grandmother, right? Because I understand we dealing through time. Right? And we have to understand that now. When I doesn't like to talk something because people just want a thing and they are madman and right? But the reality is, my grandmother, that simple thing she used to say is God, simple science. And what she used to mean by that is that it have things that we can't perceive. Right? And dig this, right? If you go back 200 years, let me say we time travel 200 years, and you come to Trinidad and you're telling our man, listen, it will have a time where it will have carriages that don't use horse. He could tell you he's
a madman
and magic and all kind of thing, because he don't have the capacity to understand what we call it, the science behind it.
Yeah.
So I just tell people, and my grandmother always say that, she say, because you do understand it, don't mean it's not science.
Correct.
Right? Don't mean it do have an explanation, but we have a way we doesn't like to deal with it, and it's all a wrong way. Right? It have a way. I, as a producer, I know the magic of music. I know what it is in the drum that make your waist move. I know what does make your head bob. I know what does make your chip.
Right.
And each one of them is a different element of the drum. Right? Because it have a direct vibrational connection. And all you will see where I'm going with this, right? To your body. So if it have a direct vibrational connection to your body, if a snare does make you pelt waist, right? And just dig this. That is why when you hear a song like Faluma, and that snare start to ring out so, stop them y'all from whining now, or you yourself, stop them. Because it directly speaking to that energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And it moving. So if a musical vibration could affect your physical being, as simple as that. So we're saying it stop there? We're saying that energy can't command the physical.
Yeah.
Right after that, we must stop right there.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that we have to respect these traditions
Right.
beyond what we see in them as pretty mass.
Right.
Because them also pointing the way forward, right? Them also showing me how we have to march forward in this time on a vibrational level. Because we're doing the things that we ancestors used to do.
I want to just ask a question based on something I said before I lose my train of thought. They will call you a madman for saying certain things, right?
Yeah.
You think the man who buying up everything in Carnival, what I can say he say? That he want to own Carnival?
Yeah.
You think anybody ever call him a madman for saying that?
No, well, they go call you that. They go see he's a brilliant businessman and he's bringing a level of profit that we never see and it's streamlined. That kind of thing goes, right?
Right? So, this is where I at. There's me. I accepting them titles right now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why I accepting them titles. If we was not accepting them titles and not scared of people calling me them thing, the three we wouldn't have been saying down here today.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Listen, I just tell people, I in this battle consciously since I was about 17, right? Learning, growing, doing the thing. It's a certain thing I overs, and it's not, and that don't mean it's not supposed to be done in the battle. But my part of doing that, done. Right?
Yeah.
So I do, it's a certain thing I do argue with people.
Yeah.
Certain thing me trying to explain. Certain thing. So me at my stage right now, if you come to me to try to find out what is racism and why we must talk race, and I'm not even having that discussion for you. It have people to explain that to you. It's not me no longer. Right?
You're taking
Yeah,
the
this
position
and that
Dr. John and Clark. I only debate with my equals.
Yeah,
All others I teach.
Yeah, I am not that person. I ain't saying you're supposed to act something,
Yeah,
but not me.
yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's
Because
what
I come to deal with what I know, right? With what I experience. Let me tell you how this energy does work, right? I wake up at must be a 19-year-old, and I tell all my brethren and them, this time we linemen on Winky rooftop in Barataria, right? Anybody you know Winky
And
from the
main
junction,
yeah.
right? Winky. So me and Junior Shellan, right? Young Winky, that my brethren, we come up, all our ways hip-hop men, all our way rhyming, we on a rooftop down in the Barataria. And I tell them, I say, fellas, I make it in music, you know. And them start to laugh at me. They say, boy, how you cocky so thing? They laugh. I say, no. I say, I don't get that assurance inside of me. And it's just something I feel me. I couldn't explain it to them. I say, I make it. And it had nothing on the horizon. I had no access to studio. I didn't know nobody in music. I didn't come from no family that had no thing to send me by nobody. I didn't know nobody. And I used to watch people on stage, and them used to be the furthest thing for me. But in that moment, I get an energy and assurance that, hey, you're good to go. And I never doubt it after that, right? It wasn't 3 months after that, this Trinidad Flow was on the air. Right? So I just tell people, I say, you have to understand that you don't always have to understand.
Right.
Right? because there is a vibrational thing that has happened is why people just come up with ideas all over the world at the same time. Right? Now, if you open, you go get the creation, you go get the idea.
Right.
And if you're not open, you go just pass on to somebody else because that is how the energy is.
Does work, yeah.
So we have to, but there are things that you just do. If you want to get abs, you work out your core, right?
Yeah.
You
And you eat properly.
Yeah. It's just things you have to do to achieve certain things.
Yeah.
And you have to be ready for certain things.
Right.
Right? So while we're talking the way forward, I want to cover that area first because we just miss out that. We have to cover the other areas too, you know. But we just miss out this part right now. This part of it where we disregard the ritual. Right? So when I come out for Juve morning, right?
I just play with your Juve.
Yeah,
Don't play with that.
I just perform a ritual. That is why all during the COVID I do my one-man Juve.
Right.
Because there's a ritual to perform to welcome that moment. Right? And I feel I have to welcome that moment in this space because that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Right? And so when I perform that ritual in Juve, right? And I celebrate the new year because I'm my new year, right? Me and care what they say about the 31st and the 1st of January.
All that shit there.
My new year is Juve, right? So when I celebrate that ritual, there's a reason behind it. It also resets my energy to jump back in the Gideon for the next year, right? So them kind of things important. And me say everybody had to do that. But you have to understand your call and your energy. And there are certain things that have been maintained. There's a reason why the energy are the blue devil, the yellow devil, this devil, that devil. Is a reason why them things 100 of years are not just survival, no, but oppression. They don't want it every year. Like I tell already last time, people have been writing why Carnival shouldn't happen and why these characters is a disgrace. How come it is stuff? There's a reason why that ritual had to be observed and respected.
Because it's a spirit.
Yes, there's an energy that this space, that Trinidad, right?
Have.
Yeah, and we have to start to respect it. And as always, listen, Royal Gibbon say that after the Haitian Revolution, the Trinidad Carnival is the most important event that take place in the Caribbean.
In the Caribbean, yeah.
Right?
That's a big thing.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's a big
after
thing.
The Haitian Revolution is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Because you understand? And after that, in terms of an emancipating process, and I didn't say emancipation, because emancipating is an active, ongoing thing. Right? The emancipating process. The two main ones is the Haitian Revolution and the Trinidad Carnival.
Right.
Right? And so we have to respect it as that. We have to respect it as emancipation that had to happen every year. Right? And that also includes me checking myself, you checking yourself, we think because we just feel we know, until we discover we don't know, and we have to go again, but it is in the seeking
that you will find.
Right? In that space. So first of all, we have to acknowledge that energy had to be respected. Right? We could start to talk about the convoy, right, which is the African secret societies that used to take place in certain areas. We had to talk about the kind of areas and spaces that it happened and why some of them end up being panyards, why some of them end up being mass camps. So that energy of rebellion continue and look how it continue to. Look how it continue to. So we have to respect that. So if we're talking about the way forward, we can't park up that, right? We can't just study how to make the thing make money and all them things first.
Yeah.
We have to understand that.
Right.
We have to understand the foundation we're building on. We have to understand that it's blood soak the ground for we to do this.
True.
That make it a real living ritual.
Yeah. Right? Soak the ground.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's part of the history that is reject.
Yes. Soak the ground. The ancestors tell them, hey, this had to happen. And if you have to dead for it to happen,
it's going to happen.
We go dead for it to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we can't just step over that to create a festival that go be better and nicer and all them things without that consideration. Right? And if we start from there and we respect the foundation, well, now we could have a discussion about what we doing next year and going forward, right?
So let me just ask you this now. It have a major shake-up in the next 6 weeks. Somebody nominate Omari Ashby to head the NCC.
Well, you see,
I'll go in somewhere with this. And you started to respond like that, but you know the people and them are wrong that you consider your elder brothers and sisters. They say, Omari, you really should do that. And the election take place. And Omari Ashby is the head of NCC. What is one of the first things, and I want to use the word away here, what is one of the first things you would try to do in the start of the planning for Carnival for next year?
My first thing is decentralize. Right?
Right.
Here why that's important, right? Because energy is linked to spaces. So what happening in Carpichaima, Aruca, Sawa, all them places, important.
Right.
Yeah.
We still have a thing in tongue, because right, we know the savannah, right? But we have to look at the regional carnivals in a very real way.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember that is from individual to family, family to relative, relative to community, community to nation. And so if we have to build community,
It had to start there.
right? Yeah. And there are certain things that you want to inculcate and encourage. So for me, the NCC had to wrestle with the Ministry of Education. Because knowledge is foundational. You have to let the children and them know what they're getting into. And you see, one of the things, the way how we just look at Carnival, we want to make Carnival a product. And don't get me wrong, part of it is a product.
Have
right?
a part of it, yeah.
But we want to go there right through. So everybody does talk about how much numbers,
Yeah.
and with the profit,
The
and
analytics.
what bringing in, and that crucial too.
Yeah.
But we upside down. We always upside down in this tongue, right? So we had to. So my first move is to strengthen the regionals,
Right.
simply because community is it, and that you go take away from the big band, and then because the big band will continue to big band, right? But what will start to happen is we will start to now use community centers,
Yeah.
take it back to wire bending, take it back to sourcing natural things. So we want to see how to play a bamboo mass or whatever kind of a cookie broom, how that will be the
broom,
thing,
yeah.
and we building that foundation. So even if it means that the big people could continue to have the mass in town, but we having children mass in all the communities so that we start to build them from there,
Yeah.
that is the foundation of the thing. Right? And that is critical and important, because what it go do now, what it go do is time them start to get big. Them start to understand the thing.
Yeah.
They start to understand why a sailor does put a whole mass on top of his head too. So the mass under he had to know, but when you look and he had the two things holding on here, sometimes there's a whole next mass going on top of his head.
Yeah.
What is that spectacle about?
Yeah.
Right?
You see
And
them
we
thing
start-
again.
Right, we start to teach about them things.
So Carnival studies in the school.
In the community.
The community too, yeah.
In the communities, and we incentivize, and that just like there's incentivize everything, because the thing does go right. Right?
Yeah.
So you incentivize that, and you build from the communities, right? They go get vexed with me for this. I don't believe the NCC should be using no money for no prize money,
Right.
right?
Right.
Corporate children does eat for Carnival. Them had to come with that.
Right.
Them had to come
Bring
with
your
that,
cash.
right?
Yeah.
NCC money is for investment in the Carnival itself, not to give nobody $1 million, because that benefits one man. And I ain't saying that Kaisonian they deserve $1 million. That's not what I'm saying, right?
Right.
Because they deserve more than that.
Right.
But that shouldn't be the use of the NCC money, right? Corporate Trinidad had to come because corporate Trinidad does feed at the Traffic Carnival, and they don't want to put nothing back in. If they feel when they give you them little thing that they just hand you out in them bag and them mask, but that ain't nothing from the budget. That'll come and bring thing and that is, listen, I different, you know. And you see how we have a green levy and a road tax. If they play smart with stupidness, and mash them up with a carnival tax. No, because we have to see what it is in what it mean to winner.
Yeah.
In terms of the community.
Yeah.
What it mean.
Yeah.
And we just get on like it mean nothing other than revelry, which is only part of the thing. It's an important part, don't get me wrong. But it's not the be all and end all of the carnival.
Yeah. You see that part they said about taxing them? I remember bringing up that with in a conversation with some brothers a few years ago. Because I find corporate Trinidad and Tobago with the kind of numbers that these companies is be posting, and that's the ones that we know about. And then you start to learn a little bit about sponsorship and who does get back how much money in tax returns. Now, if you sponsor somebody $100,000 and you getting back $75,000 in returns, are correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Where's the problem? Because the sponsorship almost guarantees your advertisement.
Yep.
And then we're talking strictly about Carnival.
Yep.
Your banners all over the place and thing. How that is not
Yeah.
how that is not something worthy to, and that is why I keep saying to them, All year. I know the Trini boy. Watch me now. If you making a big stake of your money during a period in time that is associated with Trinidad and Tobago, Carnival. A big part of your money making during that time. But you have a problem with the head of NCC, Omari Ashby, suggesting that corporate Trinidad play a bigger role financially in the Carnival. And if not, we do something as simple as put tax in place. Well, then what is it that I keep asking, what it mean to be a Trini?
You see, but we have to understand there's a fundamental disconnect between the importance of art and where we place it in this tongue, right? Right? Where we just place art in this tongue. I always tell people, when Chinese go and thing, and they like to say, I'm going to see the London Philharmonic. This Philharmonic and this choir here. I went to so and the thing, and it was a black tie affair. And this Philharmonic and that. Without endowments, without corporate sponsorship, without some foundation running money, them Philharmonic
not
busting, right? But those kind of societies recognizes the importance of the art and preserving that, because when last you hear a classical album on any charts, right? So unless it's the classical charts, of course, but I'm talking about generally making busting a mainstream thing. But the reality is they don't have to do that,
right?
Because it's an important part of the musical landscape that we have to try to preserve somehow.
Yeah.
And we understand that simple. Well, then transfer that to we thing. Art is not a frivolous thing. I always tell people, from the time you wake up in the morning, right? From the time you wake up in the morning, try to go 2 minutes without experiencing art. Because the noise that the alarm clock make is music, you know. The man who designed the alarm clock draw it first, you know. Right? When you turn on the radio and you hear the jingle.
Yeah.
Who do that? Right? And then you take off your pajamas, somebody design. Right? And go and bathe in your waterfall shower, somebody design.
Rain shower,
Right? That have LED lights in it, somebody design. Right?
Yeah.
And then you put on your Bluetooth speaker to get ready.
Yeah.
With music.
Right. That is art again.
Try to get through your day without it.
Listen to this, right? It's like you hear my grandfather say that almost word for word. Karen,
always.
My grandfather, as an artist, a painter, and sign painter, always tell me, in my 19 years I know him, that everything around with is art.
Yes.
He say a tailor is an artist.
Yeah, of course.
He say, I know, no, we could look at it now, because we will watch things so right. He say, imagine you carry this piece of cloth by somebody. And a few hours later, you have a pants and a shirt.
Magic.
That is,
Magic.
Magic.
Yeah.
But according to, several times I sit down and talk with Chief Leroy Clark, who's not here with us anymore. And he always say that, in Trinidad and Tobago, we do have an appreciation for what we make here. And we make marvelous things here.
But not beyond marvelous things. We shift the world.
Right here. From right here.
Steel Pan shift the world.
Yeah.
Kaiso shift the world.
And still shaking it.
Kaiso was the first pop music of the world. We shift the world.
My job something now, man.
But our corporate culture just fail to recognize until recognizing them go look bad now. So if Brian Lara break a record, everybody go take out a full page ad, full color, saluting you one.
Right? As a tag gallery.
But if was before to sponsor young Lara cricket bat and to
Never.
fly out and the thing.
Them and
It's
studying that.
pulling teeth. So they
Who is
want,
he?
they want it on the end, right?
Yeah.
They
But
want it on
yeah,
the
but there's
end.
no way to be seen in the beginning.
Right? And one of the practical things we have to talk about, and I just always stress this, is policy. Policy will solve a lot of them things, right? Because me, you, all three of we sit down here, and they say, well, look, we talented musically, but it have a thing from the whatever to go away and further that.
Right.
Who out of the three are we go get? So there must be a policy in place so that my father can call his brethren, right? And say Omari go get.
Yeah.
When Omari mightn't be as talented,
Strings and cables, boy.
right? And so everything had to come with policy, a kind of cultural policy. And cultural policy will cover plenty things, right? It will cover how we deal with sponsorships, it will cover how we allocate funds, it will cover how we teach, it will cover how we think. But we do, you know, right? Trinidad and Tobago does not have a cultural policy. We don't have one.
What are you saying?
Right? And so therefore we had to now understand that policy is critical, because policy does take away personality. Right?
Oh, I like that, boy.
Yeah? Once we
That
serious
might be a
about that.
catchphrase as the president. All
Yeah,
right.
that's right. because then if we have a policy, I can then come as the president
And change nothing.
and say, hey, my brethren, so. A man could stand up to me and
I
say,
know
hey,
one thing that
You
you
check the
could say.
policy. You follow the
right?
policy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
the
man go tell you
policy,
that.
and I say, hey, I'm busting that man throat.
Yeah.
When it come to what it come to, and
You
they say,
actually could
well,
ask,
listen,
say, why?
he,
Did you follow this?
yeah, they say, well, we fired that man for
Okay.
thing, and the man say thing. I tell him he wasn't following the thing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
policy, and
Governs.
we afraid that in this tongue, because once it get put
Yes,
down,
my brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
It
once
means
it
that
get
you
black and white.
wiggle room to be boss.
Me and Karen,
You know, we like
Guess
to be
what?
boss. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets small.
Yeah.
me and Karen has always say that in many conversations in the barbershop with different people, it has certain things in this place not going and change because as it is,
Yeah.
it is benefiting a lot of people.
Yeah, of course. And so policy is the way forward. Policy is the way forward. Policy will guard, protect, develop policy. And that policy can't be Omari policy. That policy has to be wide and varied in terms of its influences and consultation and
who
real
have- yeah, I
consultation,
know what I
right?
say,
And
who
what
has
they
say
say
in how it going, yeah.
right? Wide. And so when we come and we think now, and we put it in front of the brilliant minds, we start to nice this thing, and we build something that's solid. So no matter who in power, who is MPM, who is NUC, who is wherever, it don't matter who
Matter,
yellow,
yeah.
who green,
It don't matter.
who blue, who pink.
Well, look, Minister of Culture, Sheldon Mendoza say, right, and there's something that I had a problem with. I did tailoring in senior sec because it was the closest thing to art, and the art class was full. Now, there's a whole other topic, but you see that thing about you can't get to do something in school because too much people doing it. I've always had a problem with that. That also means that you as the principal and the head of whatever department and realize in the 3 years that these children go in the school, more of them gravitate towards this.
Yeah.
So it's either, if it's like I do have junior sec system again, so it's one school. We notice more of them gravitate to this. We talk to the children, all they want to do that, yeah. Well, you know, you see now come September, we had it can have one class, so them is
two.
usually 29 children, but this time it's 70. So we had to split it up. Some, not at all.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing now with the carnival, because one of the questions I had for you, right? I want to read it as I write it. One of the questions that I had for you was, is it possible to return the majority of the ban route to the previous route?
Well, the first thing we had to figure out is if that making sense.
Yeah,
That
was one of my questions.
Right,
If
so
going
that's why
back,
I want to ask that
Yeah.
because I have that there, you know.
Yeah. If it making sense. And so that again, you have to examine, and I as a man like to look at things this way, right? I just go foundation. Why the route was there, why it changed, Why they stop going? What's the challenges with doing that?
So asking all my questions.
Right? And that will inform what we're doing. Now it have other considerations because it has spaces that we're supposed to touch based on the same kind of ritualistic thing. It has spaces that the mass had to go and genuflect to. Right?
Right.
That certain areas, you understand? So any band that passing in front of, let me say, our All-Stars panyard, had to genuflect to that panyard based on what happened there.
Gate happy saying
In
and
the
GB
history.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Respect.
you understand what I'm saying? Them things important because we just only pretend we don't know them things important until somebody in the Vatican tell we to do it.
To do it,
and
yeah.
then we just understand how important it is.
Boy, I wouldn't even respond.
So them kind of spaces
Yeah.
have to get recognized. The Yoruba village. Them kind of, you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Have to genuflect at them spaces because why? Because without them,
This ain't happening.
Then happening.
This not existing in its present form.
right. So all them things is considerations too. So even if it mean the majority of the bands can't do that for whatever thing,
Yeah.
we have to have mass band passing there in some form of fashion.
Yeah.
Right? Even if the majority, we say the majority because whatever, if they say crime, if they say whatever, the excuse.
I'm not accepting that crime excuse. I don't pass that. I'm not accepting that
Yeah, well,
crime
of
excuse.
Me not accepting it neither.
Not when we have a
of course.
functional army and police. I'm not accepting
And
that
not only
at all.
that, is who said the last time that did this going like if criminal can walk.
Yeah.
Right?
Aye.
So
Them can't reach down by the stadium
You
apart.
understand?
It don't seem so.
So we had to look at all them things, and those things will kind of inform we again if we start to prep Port of Spain for a parade, because and we don't understand what you ever go, anybody who travel, right? Let me see, and any major city, you ever go in them major cities in the night? You ever see it dead like how Port of Spain does
Never,
dead in the night?
brother.
Port of Spain
No
does get
way.
abandoned in the night.
Yeah.
Right? If you go any major city,
Yeah.
nightlife happening, ting, bam, bam, there is something happening, ting, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Port of Spain
Dead.
is only thing that doesn't happen is tumbleweed blowing through, right?
Yeah.
So it means that there's a fundamental chasm between understanding what these things mean for the people. And if we prep Port of Spain, I always tell people that if we prep Port of Spain for Carnival, these things will not happen.
Yes.
Port of Spain will not be abandoned in the night.
Yeah.
You understand? Because, and again, they go say crime, but everywhere in the world have crime.
Yeah.
Right? We could have criminal like New York and them kind of place. Right?
Way.
Right? Texas is an open carry state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody is gone.
Yeah.
And yet still
Man,
nightlife.
Yeah, nightlife
thing,
still
whatever,
pumping.
whatever,
Yeah.
right? Why are our spaces like that? Right? Why are our spaces? Why our capital city?
Yeah.
Right? Why our capital city in
In
the
a
state
Lyman
it is?
Republic.
You
In a
understand
Lyman
what I'm saying?
Republic,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And so,
Never studied like that.
So it's yes, Sheldon, I hear that. Everything is ritual, so it's not about just changing it. I
Yes.
hear that. Yeah. And so it is critical that we start to look at these things from a carnival point of view. Everybody in Trinidad does run from carnival mentality. I just embrace a carnival mentality because of what it means to me. Right? Carnival mentality is a whole different thing. So when they're talking about why there's a reason why Brazilian will say samba football. Right? Because samba is what? What
dance.
samba had to do with football really.
Yeah. But that's how they just play the football.
Nothing and everything.
Everything, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it is deep. The samba is deep.
Rooted.
Rooted in the
the
football,
people.
yeah. In the people, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
And there's the people playing football.
and so therefore they understand that connection, right? So the attitude of samba helps them execute well on the football stage.
Yeah.
We just say soca warriors in a kind of different way. We don't look deep into where that connection in the soca is to have that because it is a deeper thing, and so when people are saying, when the Singapore model and the Singapore, the reason why them think it happen, apart from the man is a dictator, right? The reason why them think it happen is that there's an attitude that runs through, right? And when you and I just always tell people, when you face a thing with a particular understanding, right? You as a barber, when you go in and trim somebody, you know, boy, oh God, how I go make this look good, boy. You don't know, based on what is in you.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Yeah.
That you go in and line up this man like a boss.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
You don't have to question yourself.
Yeah.
And so when you have that kind of attitude or surety that come from a foundational understanding of self,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a different kind
yeah.
of execution you just get.
True. True.
So our next question I had is has the Carnival outgrown Port of Spain?
Well, in a kind of way, yes, because again, we too Port of Spain centric where the Carnival is concerned.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would say yes, we have to, like, one of my first suggestion was to send it back regionally. Right? Port of Spain is critical and important for the Carnival just based on the things that happen here. But everything don't have to be Port of Spain.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
This is Trinidad and Tobago. We ain't have to, right? So yes, we could pull and listen to me. Everything outgrow Port of Spain. Right? So is in terms of the general livity,
Yeah.
we all have to walk in town, we all have to go to school in town, we all have to think so we have to
Correct.
kind of get away from
From
that
that,
too,
yeah.
overall.
Yeah.
And again, Carnival could lead the way in that. Right? In letting people understand the strength of the community.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? The strength of the community. We get so tied up in that tongue thing, and we lose the community energy.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I don't know, as men, I don't know if I remember what it used to look like if ball players playing jablote.
In Georgia's.
You understand? What I used to look like in the savannah.
Yeah.
And everybody think nuts man, so man.
Yeah. Snowboard man, everybody. Chow man,
Everybody
everybody
out.
outside. Yeah.
Well, I swear that you hear my thoughts, because while they're saying that we get so tied up in the tongue thing and we lose community, I think it went both ways. Because at the same time, watch how messed up that is. We move away from community where you quicker line outside 10 o'clock in the night, 11 o'clock in the night on the street in your community.
Yeah.
Tongue that is so bustling and busy that we want everything to happen in, that everything is much more expensive in. But time a certain hour, time 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
As you pass, let we say Queen Street going upwards in town. It's a ghost town.
Yeah.
But then now we come now and plenty of our communities, we was talking that last week, plenty of our communities turning the same way.
Yeah.
Well, that will happen again because foundation. Listen, you ever see a water lily? And you could just pass and pick that up and go with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The roots there though.
Right, but because it's floating,
Yeah.
right?
You can pick it up and go with
You
it.
could pick it up and go with it. Try that with an immortal tree or any small tree, so that even try it with a piece of razor grass. You know, you have to go and get a hoe and thing and
dig
pick it
up that. Yeah.
Simply because it rooted in something.
Yes.
And so as long as we have generation after generation floating, right? They can have how much roots they want, but they're floating because they're not foundationally linked to anything.
Anything, yeah, boy.
Right? We pick it up and we go on with it. Right? Teeth the head. Right? So it is as simple, and listen to me. This didn't happen by chance, eh?
Right.
This started to happen in the 70s, coming into the 80s, the late 70s into the 80s. Right? They systematically destroy communities. Right? They systematically destroy communities by attacking the marijuana. And I don't smoke, so me no big weed man, but they attack the marijuana and bring in cocaine. Me asking you about that. Right? Cocaine used to sell and straw in them days.
Yeah.
And so you end up with the same, and watch out all the very heavily culturally strong
Communities,
spaces
yeah.
Spaces most
get
affected by
destroyed.
it. Yeah.
So when you used to have village Olympics with drumming and this one Mon Diablo going this way and this one going that way and Covine thing with this. Look at what happening in them very same spots now. So you wipe out a entire generation with drugs,
Yeah.
right?
And you kill the culture that was binding the communities together.
Right? And then you're wondering,
Why they going mad?
Yeah, Ella tell we.
Yeah.
The missing
Yes,
generation come and find we.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they won then. Let me go to Sheldon Mendoza here, but I don't think they won then at all. them know full well.
Correct.
If you really want to make it in life,
Get ready for
there's only one thing you need to do right.
Sheldon Mendoza.
Dream as if you live forever,
Dream to reality.
but live as if you die
Reggae
tonight.
album.
Said I was dreaming. Oh, yeah.
Dream to reality reggae album by Sheldon Mendoza.
Baby girl, you are my number one.
Dancehall reggae, conscious reggae, lovers rock, and much
Pull up
more.
at the club with my crew tonight. Looking for the best girl.
Available on
in the
all
spotlight.
music platforms.
Yes,
All
all music platforms.
Sheldon Mendoza.
Mendoza.
Sheldon, we're like a convertible Benz, boy. That video is a few years old and it still look fresh enough.
Hence.
Yeah. That last thing I was saying about the asking as if they don't know.
Oh, good. Sorry.
They know.
Yeah.
Because we just talked this, Karen and I, in the shop about the politics. The dinosaurs that we know we need to get rid of that run the politics in this country.
Yeah.
The sad thing is like they don't even lay eggs or like them making them dinosaurs hybrid and making mammals.
Yeah.
Right? Meaning that they all and we know they will move out just now.
Yeah.
But they programming
Yeah.
some young people who follow them to think and operate the exact same way to continue that cycle.
Well, the dinosaurs they come from nowhere, no. Remember colonialism done by the colonial order remain.
Yeah. He said I need Benz, yes?
right.
All right, brother.
Eh?
Yeah.
That colonial order.
Stick.
Yeah, and that colonial order hard to break. It's the same thing. Remember last time I was here, I tell all is why we can't go in government office short pants, and it's that same thing.
Yeah.
We not even stopping to think, well, why we doing this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The colonial order, and there's people who just take pride. I remember when it was the 60th, that is last year. Yeah. Is that people talking about we should have never leave England and
Yeah, boy.
So that to tell you how deep and this is 2023
Yeah.
where England can't even see about itself.
So much so that they have an Indian running it now.
But and listen to me.
And they wanna dead.
In Trinidad and Tobago, we never change prime minister so much time in about 6 months.
6
They have about
months.
3 or 4
Prime minister, yeah.
Right? Them can't even handle themselves. Them falling apart, and we talking about we should have never leave them. That to tell you how deep the colonial thing run.
Yeah.
But it goes to also show too, maybe they holding on to us was keeping them together.
Well,
Correct.
you don't know.
Right? The idea, you see that colonial thing, I'm going to tell you when I realize how serious it entrenched in we mentality, right? I personally believe most of the politicians that we have today is colonial-minded people who just talk democracy, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? But you see, when I went to work in the Green Phone Company, the first building that I went and worked in had the landline section and the mobile section, right? You see, the people working in the landline section was a lot older people.
Yeah.
That was when I tell you, a real reality check for me, a real shocker to me to hear these people. First things first, everybody want to correct you on the way you speak English. And one of the things I tell them, like, yo, you can't correct me talking a slave language, you know.
You understand?
Right? The insistence on a certain kind of dress code.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I make sure I ask because I don't like long sleeve nothing. I can't go to work and she got. So I ask about shirt. They say, nah, I can wear short shirt. So your boy buy 10 short sleeve shirts. About 3 months in when I know I performing and thing. Mr. Loveless, you don't have any long sleeve shirts? I was like, why? Well, you know, it looks more professional. I say, so there's a standard called more professional. I know according to all, there's professional. I didn't know it have.
There's professional
more
and unprofessional.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, before you answer my question, here you ask now, what a tie? Right?
They want to hang you.
Fast forward about 3 years later, I push the envelope. Now here what I do to push the envelope in our office, right? So they only allow you to wear a dashiki the day before emancipation and work, right?
Right. Wow.
2 days before emancipation, I go into work in a dashiki. I walk in, I make sure I reach in work about 5 minutes before we are open on purpose. See everybody watching and start to laugh. Everybody start to laugh. All my co-workers. The supervisor come outside to see what's going on. Okay, all right. Okay. And now they're waiting for the manager to hear what the manager go and say. But it was a shot for me.
Right.
Because I hoping they tell me, well, I have to change. I mean, I only if I go for the day and go down in the Emancipation Village. Right? But imagine that 2 days before emancipation, there's like 13 or 14.
Right.
And you see, you hear the base of that. What is corporate? Right? So it means then that what in a dashiki makes it not corporate. You understand what I'm saying?
Your mindset.
Yeah. And so for me, I went through that same thing. You understand? I used to rock beads around my neck. And not even big beads, eh?
Yeah.
Right?
Fine beads.
Small beads around my neck. The establishment, right? Which was Channel 4 at the time, not the government Channel 4, the private Channel 4, right?
EVM.
Right, it's EVM.
They started telling me, well, the beads, Mr. Ashby, beads and things. So I looking around and I see men wearing gold chain and all kind of thing now. So I say, oh shucks, boy. I didn't realize we had a policy against jewelry. You understand? No, they used to tell me I was a trouble man. So they're feeling stupid now. Because I tell them, I say, if all you have a policy against jewelry, tell me.
Yeah.
And I go take off my jewelry because it's my goal.
Yeah.
Right? And so it have all them kind of little things that the people who upholding it don't even understand why they upholding it. Right? Them just know that the rule and you have to look so and so I mean all them kind of thing but you have to your hair have to be professional. Who determines that?
I keep saying to them, Omari, the sad thing about it is that the people that says the people that make the original rule about what well-kept professional hair looks like don't have hair like none of we.
But I didn't the next thing. So I just tell people, I say if you are going and challenge me for the way somebody's hair grows out of their head naturally, right? Naturally. So just know what is to stop you from saying, well, to walk here, you need to have plastic surgery. You understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we had to start to set we own, and listen, I don't even subscribe to decolonizing again, because again, I just tell people that is a response to colonialism. I'm not even responding to
that no more,
I look into indigenize, right? Me looking to decolonialize again, because me, I always not even a consideration for me, so I'm not undoing what you do. I do it.
Yeah. All right.
You understand? So we had to because that is a trap too, you know. Because you go leak, you go keep responding to them.
Yeah.
And not be about we business.
About the business, correct. It's about it become a quarrel.
Yeah. And me have no time for that.
Yeah.
Me have no time for I ignorant when I come to them thing, right? I don't want to, because I have no time for that. Right? And I ready to go down. I just tell people, I say, check, I tell you, the dean approached me about my son here.
Yeah.
I let them know. You understand? And you see, the thing I just always tell people is you have to look at the essence of a rule. What is the rule about? Yeah. If somebody's hair is disturbing a classroom or disrupting or impairing somebody's ability to learn, then we could deal with that. That's a problem to deal with. Right? You understand what I'm saying? That is a problem to deal with. But don't tell me that you can't have it here so, and that's how we here growing naturally. You understand what I'm saying?
All right.
Because our school is a place of learning. So if it is impairing learning,
that's blocking your receptors,
you
partner.
understand what I'm saying?
That's blocking your receptors. Don't do with that.
I just tell people, I say, listen, I am fully prepared to take them on, one, or to not to have to take them on. And by that I simply mean, if that is what you want in your space, I'm not going in your space.
Yeah. Simple. Real simple.
You understand?
Real simple.
I'm not going in your space. I do fight up and thing, and as a performer and thing, I outside a building. Right? I going in with my them days and my ras and thing. I go in. I don't like to take my ras because my ras was long. I used to keep my ras. A bouncer stop me and tell me I can't come in there with a hat. I go on home. I don't want no long talk with you. You come here, come little line.
Yeah.
I come to perform.
Yeah.
You understand? The boss at the place had to come and thing, and then he start to rough up the bouncer.
Yeah.
I said, no, you can't rough it up because I will tell him to do.
Yes. Correct.
He doing
you
the
can
work.
make that exception for
Yeah.
one
You understand?
Yeah.
I say he doing it. You tell he that.
Yeah.
He didn't come up with that.
But plenty of we not willing to do them simple little things, boy, because, and I want to tie it back to Carnival. It had a club on the avenue, not on Cipriani. It had a club there. And they used to do that, how they used to pick out people now.
Yeah.
And they did shit I see for myself.
Yeah.
And all of we dress the same way, but I was the only one getting picked to come in. And I tell them, watch me now, no, I kind of shock myself that they no fuss, no cuss, no quarrel. Like, yo, me ain't going there. No.
Simple.
Because how it is, three of we have one shirt and a jeans. A nice shirt and a jeans, three of us.
Them thing don't mean nothing.
Right? And so now I want to bring back the Carnival. We hearing all kind of rumors and speculations about certain entities in the Carnival. What they're doing, who they're creating things for and everything, right?
Yeah.
We were sure that I was still going to swipe we card to pay for the costumes, right? Which everybody they say is the right.
Yeah.
Have a new thing for them now. How come it is in the expression of your choice and your free will and your rights, it does never really lead to the benefiting us? Your expression of freedom, your expression of choice and using your free will, does always seem to benefit other people.
But
it has never been to benefit us.
You see, they go tell you that they have a right to do this and they have a right to do that. My thing with that is this, right? Again, the same reason that club could exist is the reason that band could exist.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
The same reason. And and Trinidad have a way. We like exclusivity. I remember I tell all you we do VIP and good again. You have to be VVIP, ultra VIP.
And then,
right? It's like the Fast and the Furious. Every movie had to be more extreme, right? Just now it's Fast and Furious in space.
Yeah.
We go be ultra mega diamond platinum spectacular VIP. Right? Because there'll be more V and V and V and V until you understand?
Yeah.
So and that is an appeal to people because I could afford this, I could be here, you can't. Right? And it's a kind of thing where people it goes back to a kind of level of community that we do like to have. I is not you, you is not me. We mustn't be together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I living on this side of the street, you living on that side of the street. Yeah.
And I just always tell people, I say, let me tell you something, No matter how tall you build your wall, you have to come outside sometimes. So if you feel you could fix yourself while the society falling apart,
Never.
it will work because you have to go out into the street sometime. Right? And face the same set of monsters you want around you.
Yeah. You have to face them in the grocery. You have to face them in any government office. You have to face them.
You to face them. So therefore, what is your intention? That you alone must experience a certain kind of you thing. I go build my thing. I go do my thing. My children go be doing that thing. You and you. And then what?
Yeah.
Then what? You go build a dome. and we just fail to realize the power of community.
Right.
The power of community. We cannot continue. And this is not it is nothing about no utopia or no thing and thing, but it is simple as if you allow nonsense to happen.
Nonsense
it will continue.
Yeah. And so we had to start to check ourselves, right? As individuals, as human beings, as the kind of things we put in with children, right? The them and those attitude, we and them kind of things, critical and it is nothing. And I always tell people, nothing is wrong with building a community, a we, and it could have a them, but it don't always have to be we versus them, right? And so we had to understand that, and fundamentally, it comes from the fact that again, we do not like ourselves. Don't like ourselves fundamentally. We have never most African people, right, who like themselves, had to learn it.
Yep.
I was one of them.
Same.
Right? Same with me.
Yeah.
Had to learn it.
Yeah. But now you know it.
Right. So why it doesn't start there? It doesn't start there because part of the colonial, and this is all it comes down to, where people just feel, oh, this colonial thing, but the colonial project is what shift the earth, what shift the world. The colonial project is what made that happen. And so you had to know, recognize, all right, so what we gonna do? Where's the starting point now? Now that so everybody had to go through what you go through. Your children had to do that too.
You're mad.
Right?
You're mad.
And so I always tell people, all right, now that you know, where you about? Right? And it's not an easy question to answer, because I remember when I was 17 years old, right? And me and my brethren and them started to read book and thing. It had one of them who take the book and them and went and burned them, because he couldn't deal
with the reality.
With the reality of it. He couldn't deal with how much work it had ahead of him to fix and undo, right? He couldn't deal with it, so he just see that everything. He wanted to go back in the Matrix like the man. Right?
Sci-fi.
Yeah, he wanted to eat steak.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it is not an easy thing to come face to face with and decide, yo, this had to change. Because it means then that when you step out of the Matrix and everybody's still in it, they're watching at you as a madman and miserable now. Become the Africa thing again. Watch him.
Yeah.
So even if we tied out with the Carnival, you come with all that talk and thing about Carnival good, because most people don't see nothing wrong with the Carnival day. But again, it goes back to what you said earlier. It's because they don't have no education on the history of it.
And the roots of it.
They have no education on why it is, how it is.
And also, the revelry is also important. Here's the thing, we have a way, we just clutch we pearls at certain things, right? But there is a fundamental need to whine. Whining is life, literally. Right? You understand?
What do you mean?
Whining is life, literally, and people just get hurt with that because we have a way we just avert we eyes from them kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because of how we grew up in a kind of Eurocentric form and fashion.
Yeah.
Right? Now everything have context, right? So if we understood that, if you understood the context of the dance, the thing linked to fertility dance, linked to this and that thing, you ever see in tribal Africa where it has certain tribes that is parade with phallic symbols and anything. You ever see anybody giggling and covering children and thing? No, because it's a natural part of the thing and it is brought to them in a kind of context.
Yeah.
That is a reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is a reality. It's not no giggling and anything and this and that. And so we have to also understand that part of it, right? There's a ritual to it, right? And in simple language, there's a sacred and a profane, right? But the profane doesn't mean bad.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying?
Have a place for it.
It have a place for it. And just like how nobody go scorn a Manticure night because the Manticure night have a thing about it. It is about a young woman who now going to have a husband and showing she some of the things she had to do and anything, and they create a ritual around that.
It, yeah.
Right? Nobody do about talk that. Right? And it is the same kind of thing.
Situation,
You bring it in a context, you do the thing, you understand what life and living is about. You understand? We ain't talking about no stock and no, you understand, and no birds and bees and them kind of stupidness. Right?
Yeah.
Because why? Because we have a kind of and a version to that, because you know we have to be pious and everything, and no, we have to understand them things. Right? And nobody is saying you have to expose your children to everything and whatever. They have age-appropriate ways of dealing with things.
Correct.
Right? But also, like I always used to tell people, from the time my youth was thing, it had no tukulooks and piglix and thing and penis. And there's a reason for that. So that he understand, one, this is how we treat it in a scientific kind of way, this is how we think, and then we could talk about where tukulooks and piglix and thing come from, because that's part of the thing too.
Yeah, of course.
Right? But those started the like if it's
and going, yeah.
Right? Those started, they tell them what it is, because this is the colloquial form of that, and this is why it reach and right? For the simple reason that understanding will give them an understanding of the body, and if anybody's supposed to be around the body, and if anybody touching the body, and so but you have to be. But yet still we want to hide behind a cloak, and it is the thing that is make we scorn Carnival. Look at them, and you see what she wearing, and you think. and I just always tell people, think about this. If you see a woman walking down the road in a brand panty on a normal day, it's a piece of madness in your mind. What do you think? You take that same woman, you change the material of the brand panty and you push it by a beach. It now becomes what? Normal.
Somewhere,
Right?
Yeah.
It's normal. So therefore, that indicates a couple things. Context is important.
Yeah.
But also, how we view things.
Yeah.
It's a piece of madness because it's the same two pieces of cloth.
Yeah.
It's the same cloth,
fit, everything.
same fit.
Yeah.
And one is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then the next one, your body, you no time.
Yeah.
So then what?
Yeah.
It shows you that attitude as well
Yeah.
contributes to how you perceive a thing.
Correct.
You understand? And so we have to start to check how we dealing with Carnival in them kind of ways too.
Yeah.
Right?
Because someone make that statement to me yesterday, you know, she say, that why nobody didn't bring out the children in the for the Carnival because it's only breast and bottom outside. But Memorial Park was full.
And not only that, breast and bottom outside, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So when breast and bottom outside and the children don't get to see it, right? What that mean?
Yeah.
Or you could, and I'm not telling you how to bring up your children, but for me, if breast and bottom outside, I'm having a conversation.
Yeah. That's an opportunity. Yeah. I
am having a conversation because one of the worst things you could do with a child is leave them to try and figure out things and hide things from them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So therefore we had to stop. I ain't had no time for that kind of attitude. If it's my youth, he does get harassed with me because of how plain I just deal with it. Oh daddy, oh God. Right? But I not in that because I want to understand what time of day it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Me and that giggly thing with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I find I pass by you and I think and you're giggling and you think and you're in your phone and thing, I come in at you.
Straight.
Right? Wait, thing, bam, bam, bam. And I's also not one of them who does talk. You better learn your book. You can't think like don't study no boy or no girl. I not in that. A teenager going to like a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
I call hormones raging and thing.
Right.
How do you deal with that? You deal with that by telling them choppiness like don't study no boy or don't study no girl, or set up and show them priorities and talk to them about it and allow them to come and talk to you about it rather than shutting them down and then they put it in some app that you can't find and so you understand?
Yeah.
We have a way we just admonish children in a kind of way and it's the same thing we just want to do with the Carnival, like pretend it do exist. We mustn't see this, we mustn't see that. That is a kind of madness. We have to confront these things head on and whether they're good, bad or indifferent, treat with them.
But I'm gonna tell you something I noticed too now. You know, as we get older, like for me, I didn't enjoy the amount of flesh I see this carnival.
And that could be a thing too. It's
Right.
not that it's
From two perspectives. As I get older, I start to actually want to see mass itself, right? And based on what you were saying the last time you were here, it's not that I find it vulgar or nothing, you know, but I think it take away from what we could do, right? Based on why watch day now.
Yeah.
The way that they do it is like it was a competition to see who could wear less.
Yeah.
I don't mind going to the beach and seeing that.
No, let me tell you something, right?
But what is the difference?
And not only that, the thing is, again, from a purely creative point of view,
It's expression.
you're not on that, right? Because you want to see more. My thing with that is this. You could be right, right? But you coming at it from a different angle. Here why I just tell people. I say, just the other day, my wife started to watch Walking Dead or something, right? And that show is how much age must be 11 years. I know, I showed that out a little while about zombie. But then I started to watch how much zombie show it have. And so when that come out and it was successful, it's like they want to kill you with zombies.
Zombie
Zombie.
apocalypse.
I'm making that point to tell you that there's a time, again, what is rewarded, people will do. So when people start to see the bands that making money is skimpy, the decision is not, I want less creativity, you know. The decision is, I want more customers.
Yeah.
Right? And so just like how everywhere you turn, you see zombie.
Yeah.
A man realize, hey, the people with skimpy things, so now we're seeing skimpy.
Yeah, everything's
Right?
skimpy.
So it becomes what they feel the market demanding. Now, I just always tell people, most times the market don't know what it want.
Yeah.
Until you show them. Right?
It's a clown for me that way. You shall cross and it's my balance for me now.
Because one of the most popular thing in the world would have never happened if they did look at what the market wanted. The iPhone would not have exist if Steve Jobs had said, boy, let me
stick with the BlackBerry.
Let me
keys.
Let me make something that the market want.
Yeah.
Because the market didn't even know they want that until he get them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And so sometimes it is the way to deal with that is to bring an alternative. The way to deal with that, right, is to show the market something that they need and want and didn't know they need and want. Right? But that is the way the thing just grow in the modern time, right? Where one thing going and then 1,000 people start to do it. Right? And then of course we can't get away from the fact that also is a mass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I just always call people, you know, people that play the devil, they just play baby doll, they just play borokit, they just play thing, and then they just play themselves. Right? And that skimpy mass is playing yourself. What that mean? That the Instagram mass.
Yeah.
Right? The high hand I just call it. They're taking nothing here.
Up here, Angles. Only angles.
But it's a mass and it's legitimate.
No, that aspect I do now bring in there, right? I carry me back to the economy at Carnival. That plenty we don't realize because as you say that Instagram thing, they makeup artists live this Carnival.
Been living.
But
Been living, brother.
we ain't say no, you know.
Yeah, stylists living.
But
barbers
the
living.
way that they're doing it now, people should actually and it good for me good to see.
You have to set appointment and thing.
3 o'clock in the morning, you gotta be there.
People turn it into this thing where
No, that will always happen. And I always tell people, I say, listen, that is the power of the carnival when if you want to talk analytics. Right? Because do we capture that? Do we capture how many ancillary industries?
Well, that's something we and Karen talk. We have to get into that. That's why we putting up. We nominating you.
Yeah, president of the NCC.
We don't realize, right? The hundreds of millions of dollars that has passed.
Yeah.
Because we don't really have access to it.
right? And we are looking at it. When I just watch my little YouTube and I go down the rabbit hole. I watch a couple of people who some foreign visitors who start to calculate how much Carnival cost them, right? And when them finish calculate the kind of US them spend here, right? Between the plane ticket, hotel stay, mass,
party,
food, right?
And
when they start to calculate and you say, well, wait, look at the kind of money them spending, right? It is critical that we understand that part of it too, right? Because there's a business part of the carnival that we cannot ignore. And I always tell people we can lead with that, right?
Yeah.
But now that we hear discussion now, what we had to start to look at is, okay, how do we then turn that into a real industry? Because it has makeup, but then it could also have carnival makeup. And that could become a thing on it, in and of itself.
Yeah.
That the expertise for that originates in Trinidad. So just like how it have Swiss watch.
Yeah.
When you hear a watch is made, a Swiss made watch,
Like
it have a kind of
watch,
thing.
yeah.
So when you hear that is Trini Carnival makeup, we could build it into that. Right? We could build it into them kind of thing. Right? Yeah? And I just always tell people, what does make champagne different from sparkling wine? You know what does make champagne different from sparkling wine?
What?
It have to come from the region of Champagne.
Yeah.
But two of them is
Sparkling wine.
So the people from Champagne say, here we go on. We have champagne, them have sparkling wine.
Yeah. You see?
So it is about them kind of decisions we have to start to make. Yes, it could have carnival all over, you know, but it's not the Trinidad carnival. Yeah? And I just always tell people, I say, when we start to think about exporting the carnival, we can't just think, we have to think about, all right, look at how them showgirls in Las Vegas just look.
Yeah.
Who could design better showgirl outfit than them new designer and them from Trinidad? So therefore we have to start to think about exporting them in that way too. Right? So it's not just about the literal carnival, but the skills of the carnival that could now become an industry because Trinidad does specialize in that. And if you do have a Trini makeup artist, wire bender thing, certificate thing, there and that, well, you get the thing, you know, but you get the real thing. You have a watch, but it's Swiss made.
Nope.
Yeah? You're smoking cigar, but it's Cuban hand roll. You understand what I'm saying?
On the laps of virgins.
We have to...
And that is what I keep saying. So I was talking now, and we say that one of the reasons why it does seem like we willing to promote tourism in this country, which to me, all of that what Omari was now saying could possibly fall under, right?
Yeah.
Is because it's not something tangible to say, well, you can get money out of it for the people. Because we know, based on, this is not any of us saying this here, this is international organizations saying Trinidad is a very corrupt country.
Yeah.
Right? Very high corruption index and a very high perception of corruption, right? So when you put a contract for a road, it's a specific figure that you could demand something from them.
Yeah.
But how tourism is set, at least just looking at it straight, so it don't seem like something you could say.
Trust me, they could find things in that, right?
Of course.
But it seems like right now,
of course,
they're not the formula because you can't tell me, boy.
The reason why they don't run it down is that we were blessed and cursed with petroleum. So we never needed to go there for the big money. It come like, right, I watching Perception, right? I watching full field a Julie Mango over so. And over here had 2 Julie Mango tree.
Right.
When they, because you know you're eating Julie Mango until you know yourself, right? Because, so the petroleum was attractive because the kind of levels of money
that other people was already making from it.
So they run in there and the thing and they leave out
everything
else. Which was a blessing for we in that kind of way because we're not a kind of tourism destination where the people have to be beholden to that. But there's a kind of tourism that is dignified that we could choose to engage in, right?
Yeah.
And I always tell people, I say, listen, what we have here, because again, by the very, these are outside the carnival, but by our very location as part of more South America than the Caribbean, we have a different kind of flora and fauna. We have different kind of birds. We have different kind of animals. That have people will come here
just to see certain
just to see that and to use a latrine so that they do flush a toilet. Right? It's eco-tourism where people want
that
lamp and candle and solar power and net and no so to keep out the mosquito instead of air conditioner. It have that.
Yeah.
Right? And so we don't want to treat with them thing. It have where people want to come and get pick up from the airport in an open thing with some seat and breeze blowing in the face. Right?
Yeah. Remember Errol tell me about that?
They go in a wooden cabin with things set up to watch bird with binoculars whole day. They want to see nothing else. Right? And then you get them a meal, a dasheen and cassava with saltfish and when them done with that, it's the best holiday they ever had, but we don't put value in them thing. You know, we just put value in it. We want to see the big hotel with thing and
building bricks,
a normal thing. And not to say that don't have its value, but we had to start to look at because all them other islands had that.
And that's exactly, phrase that in a way that's how I feel about it. You can't tell me that more of us are traveling to Tobago now. More to me, based on you're hearing people talking and things. Now people running away. Tobago was a holidays like Easter or August or whatever.
Yeah.
Now people taking a weekend and going to Tobago. We find a little place, it's too expensive. We go on Tobago just so any time of the year. So we traveling to Tobago more now. And every time people come back, I don't know what any of all you. I have yet to come across any one of my friends or family that go to Tobago and was so excited to come back to Trinidad. Everybody go to Tobago and they like it. The water is so nice. We think, right. So, you don't think, based on what you now say there, that we can attract give that same feeling to international customers coming to the island on a more regular basis outside of thing like Carnival?
But first, we have to see that in ourselves. We don't see that in ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
We don't, listen, and I am guilty of that. I just tell people, I say, but hey, when last I went to the beach? Right? Because you don't really check that. Sometimes I driving down the highway and I just look at the northern range and I say, wow, look how beautiful that is now. Because and it munch me really. Every day I pass in the range, but it munch me really look at it now.
Yeah.
And so we had to start to see ourselves in that way. We have a way where we feel, I always tell people the waterfront is proof of that, right? We have a way where we feel that tall building is progress now.
Yeah.
Right? That I'm modern according to my grandfather. Your grandfather used to say modern.
Modern,
right? And so we block out a whole waterfront view.
Yeah.
To pop some tall building.
Yeah.
That God forbid, if we have to out of fire it, we don't know how, right? So we just go halfway in the development, right? If we're on our 17th floor or something, we
go cook up there.
So instead of saying, well, all right, this is an island. If we put something a little, 2, 3 floors, 4 floors, and we spread it out instead of making it vertical, and we keep the views and we think but we know we want to look like Miami, we want to look like here, and so we don't encourage we own aesthetic, right? Like when I every time I watch Napa and think I just stoops on. I just say, but look at that. We have a big green savanna, and right next to they come and rest down a big metal crapo. Right? That the design aesthetic had nothing to do with Trinidad. We have very few buildings where the architects take it into consideration. One of the few buildings in Trinidad that is like that is we library. When you watch how that the library is designed, they use galvanized in a particular way. They use thing. They design it like with a sense of Trinidad in mind. We don't really do that. We just take things lock, stock, and barrel. We find the Napa could look a little bit like the Sydney Opera House. And we rest that in next day.
I will go into some comments, right? But let me hit you this, right? So this is why I keep asking them, what does it mean to be a Trini?
That is what it means.
Right?
But people don't appreciate it.
You see this last comment? They won't make my thing. You see this last comment here by Sheldon Mendoza? And when I'm done with this, we go play the thing again. Years ago, this hit me when they tell you that Citygate, when they call out the estimated figures of people that pass through Citygate every day. I can't believe it. Because, you're thinking, this small place, hundreds of thousands of people pass through Citygate on a daily basis, right? To me, Citygate should be a hub for new musical and artistical talent. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Mystic Prowler had a pub in there, right? In Citygate.
Yeah.
Right. And he started Kaiso playing and thing inside of it. They don't have anything like that in Citygate again. Nothing that relates to the culture of Trinidad and Tobago there. People that had to wait on bus day. Like, there's a place for a young artist to come. You come, either you have a band that train them, or you come and you bring you set up with the DJ play, and you come to test out your music because, brands, what Beanie Man say?
Well,
You ain't boss in Trinidad.
Yeah. You ain't saying nothing.
You understand? You imagine on Friday evening and a crowd of people waiting, then you come there to sing garbage.
Yeah, but that
But you could imagine also the flip side of that.
Yeah.
If they come there and they sing something that people like, man, go and pull it up one time because it's on YouTube and nobody see that and thing. These places and them, and then watch it, on top of that now, what's the condition of these places? I use Citygate regularly. I set a cobweb with nasty thing. I don't
maintain.
I don't care how often it get dirty. We should be cleaning it right through.
And not only that, you see, but that is, again, that is the attitude. Problem is the sponsoring thought at Trinidad and Tobago. And sponsoring thought continues to be that we is the Trinity.
Yes.
And not the hummingbird.
Not the hummingbird.
Right? Not the Kyrie. Right? And what's the importance of that? The importance of that is recognizing that once you listen to me, you ever see somebody who appreciates this space? You ever see that? You ever see how they treat with it?
Yeah.
Right? And we do have that. We do have that understanding. We always outward gazing. We always foreign.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
UK. Right? We're always looking for them, and them now saving their whole life to come somewhere.
Yeah, here.
That looking like we have.
Yeah.
Right? And so I always tell people, what is modern for the US can't be modern for we. We have a different kind of modern to deal with.
Yeah.
You understand? Just the other day, watching at how we building house in Trinidad now. We ain't have no fancy box again. We have no thing. So it's
on a roof.
Through.
I always say
it
that.
have no thing. So everything lock up and you have to have an AC. So, but you know, and others always say we just take everything, but we also not testing the air inside of the house. Because if you have no way for air to escape and come in, are you checking to see air quality? So we're not doing that, right? But we watching outside and we're deciding that everything has to be sealed up.
Correct.
Right? And we have AC and everything, and you don't know what you're breathing in and out. Right? You don't know if that is what getting you sick. You don't know if that, and why we doing that?
Yeah.
Right? Because we recognize the importance of having an airflow through your house. Because mosquito and anything and right? And so we just throw out everything and just take in thing lock, stock and barrel and go for them style. But them style is for a temperate country that have winter, this, that. We not understanding that in we space, we had the opportunity. You know why does amaze me? It just blow my mind. Right? How much sidewalk cafes you know in Trinidad? And we had the climate fate, but yet still you going all in place with snow and thing. Them outside. Them freezing with a fire thing in just to be outside.
Yeah.
And we could be outside.
Yeah.
And you know where we want to be?
Inside.
In AC.
Yeah.
Right? Not even in the night when it's a little cool and we could ride, nothing. That has just blown my mind because I said, wow, we in a space and we inside all the time. Right?
Yeah.
So we had to start a check on how our aesthetic.
Yeah.
We do have a Trinbagonian aesthetic that we hold on to. You know, there's a reason that you and the thing is, everything, I'm not talking about go back to a long time, you know. I'm talking about a modern version of these things.
Yeah.
Right? A modern incarnation of a house that have a proper airflow, right? That we could get fresh air.
Yeah.
Because generally, listen, all it takes for me is to put out a little bird feeder with something and I could get hummingbirds by me.
Yeah, same.
Right?
It's a real hummingbird by me.
So then...
Then it's come and suck the fig.
Right.
The fig flower.
So then why I lock up in a house and that going on outside my window? Yeah? And I will pull up a YouTube thing to watch it on TV.
Yeah.
To look for birds. It's is a kind of a mania we have here.
Yeah.
And it is the same thing that speaks again, bringing it back around to the carnival. We're not recognizing what we have. Mm-hmm. Right? We're studying how vulgar it is. We're studying how it's a waste of money. We're studying all them things, and we're not pausing to say, hey,
appreciate it, yeah.
What is this thing bringing to this space?
Yeah.
And listen to me again. I want to stress that I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, saying that the carnival is a perfect space or that they do have things to fix.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we have to take lock, stock, and barrel everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But we also have to pause and recognize the things that working and what not working, and how we could use the things that working to make the things that not working work.
Because you see, this part right here too, Mendoza say, from the time you walk in the airport, any time of the year, it's supposed to feel like it's carnival.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Because that is we.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, of course, you have people who want to do that, and die them.
Yeah. Our museum still open?
I think it's under
renovation. Jeez.
But even that, even our museum,
yeah,
we had to have styles and museums. So we had a museum for whoever antiquity, and you go and you watch a thing, but we also had our living museums now. You understand? There's an idea that I had, right? That again, even when like you go by the savannah, for me, it should have a situation where you could go by the savannah, carry a class of children, a set of tourists that come, let them rent some cheap VR glasses. And when they sit down in the grandstand and they put it on, they see a mass playing. So they're actually experiencing the space. They're seeing a virtual reality pan side. They could see some kind of virtual reality because why? This is the place where it does happen. And it could happen all through the year. So when it's not carnival, that's because you bring them in, you have VR thing, cheap thing, $5 I think, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah,
everybody put on their headset and they go, boom, parade thing, music thing. And say, my God, the thing. Them is the kind of thing we had to be thinking about in terms of museum.
Yeah.
When we look at,
you're not boy.
You understand what I'm saying? when we talk about when we go wrong by the Magnificent Seven and them, when people hold up the phone,
you should get information on
augmented reality.
Yeah. One time.
Yeah.
You understand? Them is the thing rather than this static museum. It could have that too.
But that museum, for me, that's a colonial museum. Because while it have things in it that pertains to our history, you get nothing like, what's the last thing that went in that we could say is something,
more National Archives is more of a museum for we than that.
Right? Yeah. That, I mean, and it, nothing about it and no kind of modern twist at all.
At all. Let me take we sponsor there for 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Said I was dreaming.
If you really want to make it in life,
get ready for.
There's only one thing you need to do right.
Sheldon Mendoza.
Dream as if you live forever.
Dream to reality.
But live as if you die.
Reggae album.
Said I was dreaming. Oh, yeah.
Dream to reality reggae album by Sheldon Mendoza.
Baby girl, you are my number one.
Dancehall reggae, conscious reggae, lovers rock, and much more.
Pull up at the club with my crew tonight. Looking for the best girl.
Available on all music platforms.
Right.
Yeah.
We back. Hey, what the man performance in Dubai come up next year. Cool it.
We see look Christopher say we saw the real comments, Christopher say, well, Sheldon, let's come together and purchase the island because the government ain't doing it. Yeah. And that is what I'm saying. That is how people feel it, but not much people willing to converse out in the open. Yeah. Right? And next thing too, I realize that a lot of people feel if you talk about some of the ideas you have for betterment of the country, because the political organization that is in government not doing it is like, and you support them, that means you're talking out against them.
Yeah. I have no use for politicians.
Me neither.
You understand what I'm saying there?
Dustbin.
Yeah.
You know? And not because I tell, first things first, I will tell any one of them in the face. All you, in my opinion, is Caucasians and dark skin. Because and the most all you, always come in that rich kind of black and brown boy. right?
But that is the reality.
Yeah.
But again, that coming back to the colonial system, because the idea of all we systems build around that, right?
Of course.
So no matter who you slot in the space,
It will work.
Just dig this. Dr. Eric Williams, who was one of the most brilliant men on earth, right?
Yes.
On earth. This is the man who writes Capitalism and Slavery.
That is still studied, did he?
Right? And look at his position in 1970. Watch the position he take. So if he, right, who write that thesis that mash up all this idea about abolition and anything, he come with the straight facts and disturb the whole thing. When he went to Oxford, watch me, any award and anything, he mash it up. He's so brilliant. Right? This book is probably translated into about 15, 16 languages. Capitalism and Slavery. One of the most brilliant minds
Of
right?
that time.
And look what his position was in 1970 as the Prime Minister of this country. If that don't tell you that no matter who they plug in, the answer could be the same because they had to serve that system.
Yeah. It don't matter.
This is Capitalism and Slavery, you know. I had a book there. I just reread that book. But that book is a serious book.
And that's why the politics will continue.
I just always tell you, Dr. Eric Williams is one of the greatest men as a politician, you know.
That is Dr. John Henry Clark exact words, you know. I remember I watched that doc, so I know I have into my documentary them time when the lectures by John Henry Clark, Yusuf Banakanan and them. I have into it at this time, right? I taken in one Sunday evening, done so at home, taking in one. And I hear Capitalism and Slavery. I didn't know about it much yet. I hear my father them talk about it. Written by a man, Eric Williams from Trinidad Tobago. Brilliant historian. So I'm like, all right. If Dr. Clark, who I hold in such high esteem, if you hear this man talk about Eric Williams as a historian.
Yes.
And they see how you know finish it there?
Yeah.
He say, I don't know about him as a politician. You understand? Because you now say, look at his position in 1970. I never say it like that. Hear what I say. All that talk about independence and black this and stand up. 1970 happened just 8 years after independence.
Yeah.
Just 8 years after independence.
So that is what I tell you. So he again, as a historian, like you say, unparalleled, right? Unmatched, right? And I mean, and he used to power with men like with and C.L.R. James, who was an ex-brilliant man. Right?
Yeah.
Two of them, right? After a while, they couldn't get along, of course, because they were diametrically in terms of the
political.
Right. But that is the level a human being that was the first the premier and then the prime minister. But when you reach there, what you do?
As Sheldon said, they had to follow the system. He has followed the rules.
And so that we will always fail in that regard, which is why the people is where it's at. Right? And we in a position earlier, I think we didn't have the connections we could possibly make right now, you know. But the very thing that we just be complaining about, social media and internet, and that could be used now. That could link we, right? That could put we in a position to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
Because now communities is not just physical.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
And so we have to start to do that. Now that also is not easier because from the time word start to spread about that,
They come in
and they come in jokey. Right? They go come to mash that up all how. They go come to mash it up with rumor. They go come with financial laws. They go come with all kind of things because it mustn't happen. Right? So that the next thing. Man, have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's a whole next war.
Yeah, you can't come with no tin belly. You have to have a belly like oil tanker when you're dealing with this, right? So because that is the reality. From the time and of course the first line of soldiers go be people looking just like we. Simply because that is how it just go down. Right?
Correct.
It was no white people shoot Malcolm X. Right?
All right.
At least them didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Right? So at the end of the day, them is the thing, but the nice thing, like I say, is that we have a space where community could happen, and it have ways that which we could engage in it in small ways, before it get big.
Big, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is what we had to start to look at. And I changed over the years because for a long while, my idea as a young person is, listen, I have to make money and just open school and thing, you know what I mean? But I see myself doing that, right? And it's not an easy road to do.
Correct.
Right? Even and I am motivated by even my PhD right now. I no use for a PhD, you know. But there's a reason I'm doing a PhD. Right? And the reason goes towards community and what I want to say and the spaces I had to go and say
it. Yeah.
Right? And so all them things is what had to start to motivate me to link, to make the points, to plant the seeds.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, because like I just tell people, it does seem like nothing happened, but we also make a lot of progress in the time that we're doing what we're doing. Right? It's just that because we are human beings, we just count time in 10 years and things. But if we look at a span of 100 years, 150,
and look where it comes from to now,
how the kind of lions that
breeding,
and that raw and cut and go through and deal with things and kind of, you understand?
Yeah.
We know that we come a long way, but now it is at a point where them didn't have the kind of things where them had to print on flyer and hope it reached we have a kind of reach now that things could accelerate.
Yeah.
We have a kind of reach now that we have to make use of. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we have to have a kind of single-mindedness in it too.
That is the problem.
Yeah. And I always tell people, I say, listen, you will always get people who can't see it. Some people who go start off with it and fall off. You have to be prepared to deal with all of them things. That's normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's normal. Right? I start off, I tell you, at 17. By the time I was 18, we had a crew called Harambe. Brothers working together for freedom. We used to throw everything from, well, we can't call it barbecue. We used to cook more, we think, green fig pie and you understand? Right? We used to cook that, sell it like a barbecue. We used to do all kind of and wasn't always successful. We what used to call them when Maxi and when you go excursion.
Excursion,
right?
Yeah.
We used to do excursion. Sometimes one bus say come back for we think, but we go in and we looking for different thing, you understand? But all that was us trying to work together as youths, and these 17 and 18 year olds.
Right.
We all are in we mother house. Right? Trying to work together, trying to build something, raise money, do this, do that. You understand? Wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Was hard, men fall off, men think, but at the end of the day, that was the foundation of the thing. Right? I live to reap the benefits of that. Right? Because it gives my entrepreneurial spirit. It also helps me to see how to organize and also what is the work. And how men does disappear when the work come, because sometimes when you're doing the cooking, when you look for who cooking, right? It might be 2 hours out of the 10. But that's how it does go.
80% of the people is
right?
20% of the people does do 80% of the work.
And so you have to be prepared for them things. But there's a job to do, and you can't do everything.
Yeah.
Right? You can't do you also have to also know your role in the war. If your role is to educate the people, sometimes that's just all you could do.
Like all you could do, yeah.
Right?
You can't shoot no gun.
Right. And so sometimes you have to recognize that and fight in your space.
Yeah.
Yeah? But we have to know now that the war different. Look where we're reaching. Look, we right now, with AI dealing with everything. And let me tell you something. We are looking at AI from a wrong position. Right now, we only dealing with the creative AI. And the real power of the AI passing behind we back.
The learning one.
We had to start to pay attention to that, because the creative AI go be easy to deal with. You know, that is just another medium. You know.
Yeah.
Or be frightened and think it come like just when sampling come in.
Yeah.
That is not creative. That taking people's song and everything. People go figure out a way to use the creativity AI.
Yeah, correct.
But there's the rest of applications for AI are passing us by. And we have to, because of that fear and oh God, the thing it will be terminated, and we have to take that by the horns and govern it. Yeah? Because the rest of the AI that dealing with medical stuff, that dealing with insurance, that dealing just now, in 10 to 15 years, right? If you could qualify to get insurance go be based on an AI, you know. that learning you from your Instagram, that learning you from your thing, from where your money swiping, from what kind of food you eating, how much KFC you eat for the month, and if that raise your cholesterol higher, all them things, right? And where you just go, if you use a man like to go in the Gaza and Lime, you 30%.
Yeah, your risk higher to there.
Them is the kind of things that go be happening, and if we concentrate on the creative area alone and that happening, it's more licks for we. So we have to start to take control of them kind of things and understand how they will be using these modern things, right? You have to start to pay attention to that.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's that. We have to do that. So, we have time, we start late. We have time. I ain't running off so quick.
The idea where we go from here, for me, right, and I go throw it out, you in the space and doing certain things longer. I think you see the community thing, and me and Karen talked that part of we show last week, talk about community and doing things in we community more. If it's a little small goal once a week with we neighbors and things, right? I really, really think that our community is the way to go. I think it might sound small to some people.
Yeah, but it had to start small.
But not just start small. Remember what we say, a nation is not a nation. A nation is a group of communities.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the decentralization, because for me, every area have a different thing they will bring. You understand? I also like the idea of not necessarily going back to what we know, but using what we know from there to put the roots now, to go forward. You understand? Because I think that the fact, the spirit not missing, need to come back. That need to come back in the carnival.
But it's gone nowhere, we don't recognize it.
That too, yeah.
We don't recognize it, and we just look at carnival without looking at the energy it does bring. People doesn't pay attention to how the whole space does just get different for carnival. Yeah?
Yeah.
And there are a reason for that, you know what I mean?
But that is why this thing on my mind, so right? The energy does get different, the feeling does get different. Even if you leave home and it's not carnival oriented home and you're coming town.
Yeah.
Is that you just feel it, you can't escape it, right?
Yeah.
Right. One of the reasons for that in my mind is what we ancestors had to do.
Right.
So the 1 and 2 generation that came almost immediately after that had a real good appreciation for it. And that in with blood still.
Yep.
But it being overpowered by what we getting now.
Yeah. But so all that is that there's a responsibility again, like those of us who recognize it.
Yeah.
Those of us who know, and people been doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In all different ways. If it wasn't for people like Sprangalang, brother Tony Hall, Royal Gibbon, all kind of people in this space who've been championing these things, making the linkages, doing every form of art, education, academics, creativity, is why it survived so long.
Yeah.
And so now, it's up to people like us who starting to communicate. We know everything, but we are on the road to learning everything. We are on the road to making the connection. And so therefore, we have to start to deal with that now too. So again, the way forward is to recognize the ritual.
Right.
Genuflect before the ritual. Right? But also recognize that we are in a space that is commercial. We are in a space that is enjoyment. We are in a space and take all those things into consideration. Right? Build on the foundation of the ritual. Yeah? And start to deal with what we see around us. And again, it does always seem like a big task. But for me, like here I just look at them thing, For me, I am seeing, maybe we could talk to the Barataria Community Council and see if during the August holidays, if they're having any classes, and we could pull somebody who does do wire bending to come and show them a little wire bending thing. Right? And just start with that, so they get introduced to wire bending, you know, and they start to see the beauty of it. And some of them might get a life skill that will feed them. And some, you understand? Them is the kind of things we had to start with, right? so that we start to now put it in the life, because that's what it is, you know. Carnival is not a thing, you know. It's life. So we start to put it in the life in these kind of ways, right? And nobody, if you want to whine in wrong, nobody have to whine when that going on, right?
Right.
You just learn the thing. You understand? And also, let we start with the bat, let we end with the bat. The bat didn't used to take the bat had its own dance.
Right.
So suppose somebody could show them the bat movement now. Right? And that become a thing on how to make a bat outfit and the bat movement.
Yeah.
Right? And we start with them kind of things. Where they now start, hey, I can make this bat. And so I just always look, because them youth and them, they like the cosplay and they like the things.
Anime and them thing,
right?
yeah.
So you know, kind of try to cross up that now.
Yeah.
And say, well, all right,
Get
let me
them
see if we
involved,
could make, let me modernize how the bat make. If they used to make the bat, let me see they use the molding and the thing to make the cosplay. Let me see if we could now cross up that. So get somebody who does build cosplay and somebody else do the bat and kind of come and see what we could come up with. So them youth and them now know. So it's all them little things we could do.
Yeah.
That will now start a new generation of appreciation. And in the teaching, it is not separate from where it come from, you know. Because in the teaching, this used to happen because this was the foundation of it. This is where it come from.
Yeah.
This is why they used to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
So I will read out 2-3 comments here before we go, right? Mendoza say, I must say that one of the first big performances I did was at a reggae remix of This Trinidad Flow at Holy Name Convent, where Third Base introduced me to Omari Ashby and Kindred. You see, I started doing rap so after that. And when we was talking about the energy that Speedy say, it is our ancestors inside of us resonated with the vibration of the energy. The spirit of Sprang Along is in Omari Ashby. Right? You see, I was talking to international drummers today, this morning.
Tony
Mason. Sorry, yes. Yeah. That hard thing that you come up with it, that herb blocking up.
Yeah.
This morning, and we were discussing creating a cultural space in the communities and in the schools once again, and we had to do that something out.
And Sheldon is a man been doing the work. Sheldon is a man that work for enterprise and she go on a street. Right? And that's the kind of energy, right? And he don't just work for himself. He would think he had artists around him, and you know what I mean? He bring out people, he think people. And that is just the energy that it takes. It takes that kind of love for your space, that kind of belief in your space, that kind of, you know, and sometimes it is a thankless job, you think, but there's a compulsion in people like that, and to create a thing in the space that's important. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, and them is the kind of people you have to tap into. People who on the ground, people who doing the work. Yeah, and a lot of times that the mistake officialdom does make now. Yeah, them just come and want to dictate rather than come in a space and see people who are already in the space doing work. Yeah. And have connections with the community and see how you could work through them.
Yeah. Now them want to control it.
You know?
Them want to control it.
So it's important that we recognize the power of community. It's important that we figure out ways that we could contribute it. I mean, people listen to me. Roy Cape on his own. Giving people instruments, training people in music. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Giving back. You know what I mean?
Not everything is about the dollar.
And not everything is about the government and the government. Do what you could do. I always say do what you can where you stand. Yeah. Right? And that becomes important, whatever little bit. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. If you can sponsor school, sponsor pupil. Yeah.
Start somewhere. You have to start somewhere.
So I always tell people do and not everybody could do your thing. You might be able to cook, right? And you have a little business. And if it's 2 lunch for the day, you could send for a little youth who might not nothing to eat when they go into school. That's important. Yeah. There's 1 lunch. Yeah. There's a snack. Yeah. That, you understand? Them things that make a difference because a child might be hungry, can't focus, can't concentrate, with all these little things. So whatever is your skill, whatever is your talent, whatever your thing you could contribute. You understand? I always tell people, you might feel you have nothing that people have less than that.
What?
Right? So it always have a way for you to contribute. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to make sure and show them.
Yeah, boy, what my jersey, boy?
Yeah.
You forget it.
Midnight Rubber.
Coming down the road in the vehicle.
Right?
Yeah.
Midnight Rubber from Saga Boy Culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it will be ongoing, but I think it's a discussion that have to be had. Surprisingly, the feedback from
The first one.
not the first one, but since we started talking about Carnival, the money that involved in Carnival that we don't have access to, then when you come on, the feedback real high.
Yeah.
Because I think a little more people recognizing that we get real distracted by the revelry, which, as you say, is a part of it. You know, that is not a bad thing. You know? But we only in the pay part of it.
Yeah.
But the pay not coming back to we no kind of way. You know? So teaching wire bending in a community center might be a way to bring it back.
Yeah.
Because something I just real advocate for is that I find our community centers are underutilized.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to know who, you have to know somebody to know somebody to get
Battery
you.
on that pump, eh? Battery on
Yeah. That the village council there, them
them
fellas.
pumping, right? But it could, listen, them is the spaces. Them is the spaces, that is where the intervention had to happen. Because, of course, if you try schools, it could be a whole thing, and the ministry, and so community, the energy, the youths, even some of the older people, all these different things, and try to, you know what I mean? And we had I always tell people, I say, listen, there are people who, elders who bitter, some of them have a right to be bitter, and so you had to have patience with them too, right? Because of the kind of things they go through, and sometimes they try and they get fed up.
Yeah.
You got to start to reach back out to them people too, the elders who do the things, the elders who do the work.
I agree with
the
that.
elders who think, and yeah, you go meet some of them who grumpy, and that is part of the thing, right? Because they would get licks.
Yeah.
But we had to kind of also pay attention to the work they do. Try to talk to them.
Yeah.
Try to get his stories.
Yeah.
Try to get his struggles. Try to get his successes.
Yeah.
Because them thing is lessons for us and the generation that coming after us.
True.
You know? So we had to, again, community, reach across communities and deal with what we had to deal with.
That's just how important community is, because we're talking about Carnival, and where do we go from here is we have to bring it back to our community thing, and not just the community of Port of Spain alone. So, with that said, everybody tuned on. More life and good health to you. More life in good health to you, right? More enjoyable times, because we know you live long, you're healthy, but you ain't enjoying it. Yeah. Right?
Correct.
Always remember, love and support.
Action words.
Right? Let we live in love. Let we look out for one another.
Yeah, man.
Yeah? Bless
Well,
you.
they're taking something from the kindred. Taking something from the kindred there.
Did you know? This Janika flow. Did you know? This Janika damn well flow. Did you know? This Janika flow. Did you know? Stop. Bring the intro. Stop. It just come again, and we bring a brand new vibe, a brand new style of rap, so from a brand new type of tribe. Take the drum of Africa and give it all we played. Feel the vibe of a rap, they going down to Lancelot. Play slow. They slow how we rap, so it can flow. So Kim just come to show them what we knew they didn't know, and all of the nation they just come and gather round to listen to the rap, so it be rough and rugged sound. Did you know? This Janika flow. Did you know? This Janika damn well flow. Did you know? This Janika flow. Did you know? Stop, come there we go. Stop, go. People are the girls, feel the power at the drum. See how the ground does shake when the rap so man a come. It's just a Trini vibration to African rhythm. You're begging for the music, so I reach to get you some. You saw how you really want some. So pretenders on the run by the time the song is done. Come to the vibe, let me get you a taste, and wash it down with music while the people move their way. Did you know? This Janika flow. Did you know? This Janika damn well flow. Did you know? This Janika flow. Akine, come there we go.
Step into the show to show that I can flow. Got rhymes in my mind from my toe to my throat. Another black man like you on the go, on the conscious tip, offensive blow. The song we're doing like us, we simply offer no contenders. When we step into the jam, we simply offer weekend they ain't no marry. So now I'm flexing styles on the fluent tip. I'm gonna lose my rap flavor, use my reggae lip.
You hear? You hear?
I'ma come with the power of one. It coming like a giant, sit down on the rhythm. Another black brother flinging to the tempo. And this is just to show you that the Trini boy can flow.
Didn't you know? Didn't you know? This Trini can flow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? This Trini could damn well flow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? This Trini can flow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Wait, come let we go. I ain't no singer man, so don't ask me to sing. I ain't no dancer boy, well look, I doesn't do them thing. But if you want to know what I does do real good, just throw down a drum and feel the power of the wood. The jolly man that's singing with the slamming rap so song, designed to shake the system from the top right to the ground. I just gave me signal, so it's time for me to go. And this is just to show you that this Trini boy can flow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? This Trini can flow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? This Trini could damn well flow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? This Trini can flow. Didn't you know? Damn well flow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? This Trini can flow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? You get me vexed, you get a blow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? This Trini can flow. Didn't you know? Damn well flow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? This Trini can flow. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? This Trini can flow.